Morning guys, Sarah Dennis here. I'm just going to do a very short tutorial for you about what to do if you're feeling ill and you've got a gig, right? It's not a nice situation to be in, but you know, sometimes you do get ill and it's just one of those things. However, you need to take every reasonable step that you can, every preventative step that you can to make sure that you stay fit and healthy. If you've made an engagement, to be fit and healthy for that booking. And it's very difficult sometimes, I know, when everybody around you seems to be sniffling and coughing and spluttering and you've got to stay healthy. It's just one of the things that you've just got to get used to in showbiz. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you what I do to stay fit and healthy, what I do if I do end up with an infection, and you know, hopefully that should help you if you find yourself in this situation. Okay, so first of all, as far as preventative measures goes, I use this product, which is fantastic. It's called Sterimar. You can get it from your pharmacy. It's about £6 or £7, something like that. So I don't know what that is in dollars, probably about $10, $10 or $12, something like that. All it is, I'll show you how it actually works. It's just a pump action nozzle, and it is just pure and simple seawater. It's called Sterimar, so it's sterile and mar, obviously that's the sea bit of the word. It's just like going for a swim in the sea and cleaning out all your nasal passages because you've ended up swallowing a load of it. You feel awful at the time, but afterwards you're purified and totally clean. And that's all it is. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a really natural product. It just pumps out. You stick it up your nose, obviously, and it goes straight up your nose and probably sometimes comes down the other side. I'll just spray it for you so you can see it. So it's just like a mist of salty water, really. And then you just obviously blow your nose afterwards and get all the rubbish out. Then there's nothing up there for anything to fester in, and you keep your nasal passages clean. The beauty of this product is that it's not going to damage the delicate linings of your nasal passages because it's a very, very simple. There's nothing added to it whatsoever. At the beginning of my career, when I wasn't using the right singing technique, I did get the beginnings of vocal cord nodules, and I went to a voice specialist and he advised me to use this. He said, in fact, if everybody used it, there wouldn't be half as many people going down with colds and flu. So I've used it ever since, and it's been brilliant for me. And you know, together with this product, I also obviously went to learn how to get a better singing technique. That's why I've been singing for 20 years. So if I'd have just sort of fallen at the first hurdle and thought, oh, I can't sing anymore because I've got vocal cord nodules or whatever, then I wouldn't have had a long and successful career in singing. However, I did something about it, and this is absolutely a priceless piece of advice. It's only, like I say, about $10, $12, £6 or £7. You get it from your pharmacy, and I would advise anybody to use it just like the specialist advised me to use it. The other thing is, if your problem isn't in your nasal passages, if they're all clear but you've got a raging throat, I use this product. I know there's lots of different products out there that you can use, but I like this one. It's called Eludril, and it's just a little pump action spray. Again, I'll show you. I've got the canister there. You take the little thing off, put that on top, and you spray it. You open up the back of your throat, open wide your mouth, and spray it right into the back of your throat, 2 or 3 little squirts, and it's antibacterial, but it's also anaesthetic, so don't use it just before you go on stage because it does numb the area slightly, but if you've got a really raging throat, it's fantastic. Really does work, that. Because there's other products that would be similar to that you might prefer, but I just like that one. So this is like I use every day, like brushing my teeth. This I use if I get a little tickle in the back of my throat, a couple of squirts, and the bug doesn't get me. If for whatever reason, it does really get me, and I end up getting like an upper respiratory tract infection, which is just sort of this area here, and you can feel it sort of almost on your chest, and it's terrible if it goes on your chest. You probably need antibiotics then, but if it's just sort of in this area here, I use steam inhalation. Now, some people advise you to put, you know, menthol crystals in and stuff like that. I don't even think you need it. I think just the process of putting boiling water in a bowl, getting a towel over your head, and just inhaling the steam, inhale it up through your nose, and then close your nose and inhale it through your mouth, so it's going to the back of your throat and up your nose, and obviously blow your nose, get rid of any rubbish that's up there. Be careful you don't burn yourself, because obviously if it's boiling water, if you're too near the steam, you can actually burn yourself on steam. So start higher up, and then as the water cools, you can go a bit nearer to it. You'll feel it, but don't inhale straight away, or otherwise you could burn the back of your throat, or you could burn your nose or your face even. The whole process actually is really good for your face, because it's like having a, you know, partially like having a facial, so your face, your skin is great after you've done this as well. So steam inhalations, do that. The other thing I always do is make sure I have enough sleep. If your voice is really sore, don't speak. You know, try and be economic with how much you use in your voice. I've had to really be quite, you know, careful with my voice, because as well as being a singer, I'm a teacher, which involves a lot of speaking, and I'm also a mother, which involves a lot of speaking. In fact, I try not to raise my voice to the children too often, but if I do, I never do it improperly. I always use the right technique, because if you shout and you're a singer, you risk losing your voice, you risk losing, you know, your means to earn your living. So you have to be very protective of your voice, and people tend to take it for granted before they've lost it. It's only when you've lost something that you think, oh, you know, this is actually, I shouldn't have really taken that for granted. A teacher colleague of mine, he actually lost his voice and had to be off work for 6 months, because obviously you can't teach with no voice. So you really do start to appreciate it if you've ever had any difficulties with your voice. So my, you know, tips are, have a good maintenance regime. Make sure you keep your instrument clean, and be very vigilant. If people are, you know, full of a cold around you, then, you know, make sure they don't sneeze on you, make sure you don't sit next to them, make sure you don't kiss them. Just be careful, really. And, you know, try and stay healthy, okay? I don't know whether you've noticed or not, but I have got an infection at the moment. I've been quite poorly. I've had upper respiratory tract infection, and that's my mobile phone, I'll have to get that in a minute. And I've also had quite a thick, heavy head cold. So what I've been doing is my maintenance, yeah, steam inhalations, and I've got a gig tonight and I've got a gig tomorrow night, and even though I've been poorly, I know I'm going to be alright, because I've done what I needed to do. And also I'm going to be very choosy about which songs I'm going to do. I know I'm not 100%, so maybe I might be like 75, 80% fit, or even maybe not that, but I'm going to choose songs that I know are easier songs for me, and put on a fantastic show. The audience will not know that I'm ill, and that's the key, because they're not interested that you're ill. They don't care. You know, they're out on a night out. It's a special night for them. They don't want an act turning up that's snivelling away and you know, complaining that they don't feel well. It's nothing to do with them. That's your problem, and you make sure that your audience do not know you're ill by putting on a really cleverly devised show that you can do whilst you're 75% fit, and giving them everything you've got to give. They'll go away happy, you'll go away happy, you fulfill your commitment of your gig. You've not killed yourself in the process, because you've not tried to do the most difficult songs in your repertoire. You've come home, you've got paid, and it's been a success. If you know, you get to the stage where you really are, you know, quite ill, and you just don't think you're going to be able to do it, you're the only person who knows this, by the way. You've got to go with your own gut feeling. And as you get more experience, you'll know that you can actually get through things professionally that earlier in your career you would have cancelled. But anyway, you've got to have the experience to sort of know your body well enough, know your instrument well enough, and know your repertoire well enough to be able to pick a clever set that's still going to go down well, even though you're not feeling great. But if you decide that you're going to cancel, make sure that you give the agent, enough warning if you've booked it through an agent, so that they can get somebody else to go and fulfill that engagement, and you're not going to have a room full of people with no entertainment on. That is really, really, really important. If you have booked the function direct and you've not gone through an agent, this is where your friends come in. See if a friend can do it for you, somebody who's on your sort of level, or approach the agent and say, look, I've got this gig that I've booked, I'm feeling really ill, please could you send somebody, and they'll have lots of acts that would be prepared to do it. Okay, so I hope that's helped you, and I'll see you next time.